Intro. Welcome. You have entered the dark world of Mystic Vale. Here, every story hides fear, mystery, and the shadow of the unknown. If you have the courage, let's begin. Title card. Terrifying ghost story. Leela. A mysterious night of horror. Lies a deserted village. Its name is Borodighi. Though it can be found on maps, people shiver in fear just hearing its name. The village is surrounded by dense sal forests with only one road leading inside. But once the sun sets, that road disappears into darkness. Local legends say, no one survives the night in this village. Those who dared to stay overnight were found dead the next morning in unnatural conditions. An old man once warned, "Son, don't go there." After dark, cries echo through that village. Who cries? Who calls out? You'll never know. Even we don't cross that way. But still, 5 young men decided to spend the night there. Their goal, to uncover the truth behind the rumors. Night fell over Borodighi. The boys took shelter in a broken-down school building. On the cracked wall, an old blackboard still hung, and written in chalk were the words, "Death is the only freedom." Suddenly, a shadow moved outside the window. They flashed their torch. No one was there. One of the boys, trembling, whispered, "Did you see that?" Someone was standing there. But where did they go? Moments later, strange sounds began. The laughter of a little girl, then sudden weeping. The door of the school slammed shut on its own. One of them collapsed, gasping for air. It felt as if invisible hands were choking him. Terrified, they ran out of the school. As they wandered through the village, they came across an old woman standing in the half-light. She whispered, "You've come to the wrong place. Do you know whose spirits roam here? 70 years ago, one night, bandits set this village on fire. More than 100 people, children, women, elders, burned to death. Their souls never found peace. When night falls, they rise again, and they claim new guests as their own." And with that, the old woman vanished. The boys, driven by fear and curiosity, reached the edge of a massive pond, the Borodighi itself. In the water, countless shadows appeared, crying out in unison, "Set us free! Set us free!" One boy fainted from terror. The others dragged him into an abandoned house. But the moment they entered, they realized it was their biggest mistake. Inside, one was seized by an invisible force, his throat crushed. The others tried to save him, but his body went limp. As silence fell, they heard footsteps, many footsteps, walking all around them. Then came the smell of burning flesh. Before their eyes appeared a half-burned girl, smoke rising from her charred body, her glowing red eyes piercing through the dark. In a cold, hollow voice, she spoke, "Why have you come here? We never wanted to die, and now you must die too." Suddenly, hundreds of shadows closed in, surrounding them. One by one, the young men were torn apart by unseen hands. Only one managed to break free, smashing the door and running into the night. He ran down the village road. Dawn broke, and with the first rays of sunlight, the village disappeared. Silent, deserted, as if nothing had ever happened. But the boy who survived had a strange smile on his face. His eyes glowed a deep red. He was no longer human. He had become Borodighi's newest spirit. The dead boys were never found again. The lone survivor, his eyes turning red, was thought to have gone insane. But the truth was far worse. By night, he mumbled in strange tongues, muttered the village's name, and fire glowed in his eyes. Though he escaped the village, its spirits were slowly consuming him. The camera the boys had carried was later discovered by a police officer. When he watched the recording, he shuddered in horror. The footage showed the dead boys still walking, as if alive again, but with burned bodies and glowing red eyes. At the very end of the video, a woman's voice echoed, "Those who came will not survive. Those who watch will not escape." The officer lost his sanity after seeing it. A renowned researcher who denied the existence of spirits arrived at Borodighi. Armed with instruments, recorders, and notebooks, he ventured inside. At first, everything seemed normal, but as night fell, he felt icy winds, strange voices, and unseen eyes watching him. His recorder captured the sound of countless voices. "Set us free! Set us free!" But then one terrifying voice whispered right into his ear, "You've entered our home. You will never leave." As he studied the village's past, he uncovered a chilling truth. The bandits hadn't just killed the villagers, they had cursed the village priest as well. Before his death, the priest proclaimed, "As long as the waters of this pond remain, the dead shall never find peace." In the pond, shadows and burning hands still rose to the surface. The researcher attempted to burn the pond dry with fire, but before dawn, the flames turned against him, engulfing him completely. His body turned to ashes, but his screams still echo within the village. Borodighi never stopped claiming souls. Those who entered, whether out of curiosity, science, or superstition, never returned whole. By day, the village stood empty, lifeless. But at night, the dead awoke and the living became part of them. The truth became clear. Borodighi was not a village. It was a kingdom of the dead. Whoever entered became a permanent guest, their names etched invisibly into the village's book of death. Years later, in a nearby town, a bookseller discovered an old diary. It belonged to Borodighi's schoolteacher. It read, "When the bandits set the village ablaze, I hid with my students in the schoolhouse, but the fire consumed them too. Before my death, I curse this pond. Whoever gazes upon its waters will taste death." As the bookseller read, blood trickled from his eyes. He screamed, "They're calling me. I don't want to go. I don't want to die." The diary's pages flipped on their own. On every page, one word appeared: death. The terror spread so far that police dispatched a unit armed with weapons, drones, and cameras. At night, they entered Borodighi. At first, silence. But then the drone captured hundreds of figures, burnt bodies, hollow eyes, standing around the pond. The officers fired, but the bullets vanished into thin air. One screamed into the recorder, "They don't bleed. They're not human." The next morning, their vehicle was found outside the village. No blood, but all of them lay dead, their eyes glowing red. An old sage revealed that within Borodighi lay an ancient temple, the village's only hope. Bravely, some ventured inside, but they found the idols smashed, the walls smeared with blood, and words written, "This temple will not save you." Strange chants echoed. The stone statues cracked open, and from within rose a massive shadow. It whispered, "You've disturbed our sleep. Now you'll remain here forever." None who entered the temple ever returned. Beside the village ran an old railway track, unused for years. One midnight, villagers saw a black train stop beside the pond. From it descended hundreds of passengers, burnt, blackened bodies. In unison, they cried, "We want to live. Set us free." In the train's window, the survivors saw the smiling face of the dead boy. He waved his hand. "Come, come. Once you board, everything will be over." Before dawn, the train vanished. The last secret emerged. Before his death, the priest had left behind a book. It contained the names of every dead villager. And shockingly, anyone who entered Borodighi had their name appear within it. A journalist found the book. On the final page, he saw his own name. Beside it, the words, "Tonight." That night, he vanished without a trace. The nightmare spread so wide that nearby residents fled in terror. The government decided the village must be burned down. At night, soldiers and firemen set the village ablaze. Flames engulfed trees and houses. It seemed the cursed land would finally vanish. But suddenly, from the fire emerged hundreds of spirits. Their bodies burned, but they kept advancing. Their screams shook the sky. Fire gave us birth. In fire we live. The blaze did not destroy them. Instead, the flames made them stronger. Fire trucks were reduced to ash. Soldiers disappeared. The survivors lost their sanity. At last, an old priest claimed, "The spirits cannot be destroyed. They can only be stopped if one joins them." That night, he sat by the pond, chanting ancient mantras. The skies darkened, storms roared. The spirits rose and surrounded him. When his chanting ended, a thunderous explosion shook the land. The village, the pond, the trees, everything disappeared into darkness. By morning, only an empty field remained. No houses, no trees, no pond. People said, "Borodighi no longer exists. The curse has ended." But even years later, travelers passing through still hear voices in the wind. "We are here. We are still here." Final scene. In the air, the words from the blackboard reappear. "Death is the only freedom."